Okay, guys, warmly welcome to all of you. Now we are going to discuss an important area of this training, that is the roles and responsibilities. Like who is responsible for what? If he is a work permit issuer, what are the responsibilities? If someone is working as a work permit receiver, then their major responsibilities. And most importantly, the CSE supervisor, the top management, like as a management, what they're responsible for. Or do we need any kind of like standby man, his responsibilities, and most importantly, the entrant who's going inside, what would be the key responsibilities of each entrant? So let's start with the issuer and receivers. What are their responsibilities? The number one major responsibility of issuers and receiver is to identify which permits are required. First of all, to identify which permits are required. Do we need a hot work permit if it is a welding activity? Do we need a cold work permit if it is just a janitorial, or maybe scaffolding where no chance of ignition source is possible? Or we need CSE entry permit if confined spaces are involved. And most importantly, if we need isolation or lockout tagout, then what permit we need? So identification of which type of permit required is the responsibility of issuers and receivers. Now, my question is, do you have certified issuers and receivers within your company? Yes, please.
In our company, no there's any card. Only a
Uh-huh.
supervisor and technicians.
Okay.
Engineer they will issue and supervisor or foreman they can receive.
Okay. So this is written somewhere in your procedure, right?
Yeah, we have our there one standard form. Just we have to fill that one.
Okay. But maybe you can go one more step to make them certified that these are the certified issues, trained and certified, and these are the trained work permit receivers actually. If you will make everyone authorized to take permit from any supervisor or issuer, might be they will ignore several safety segments. Like we are going to discuss a lot of things, how to identify hazards, what type of hazards can be there in a confined space. So that's why we need somebody from both sides to be fully trained and certified. And imagine if I would be the safety auditor of your site, surely I'll ask who is the permit issuer. You will tell our supervisors, are they certified internally or by the third party? Who certified them that they are the trained and knowledgeable guys and they are fully authorized to receive permits or authorized to issue the permits? So that's why look at their responsibility, like identify which permits are required. Second one is conduct a joint site inspection. That is why we need knowledgeable, trained and certified issuers and receivers because they have to conduct joint site inspection, JSI, like just to identify proactively if any sort of hazards are there, and most importantly, identify and document hazards and precautions in the permit form. So, issuers and receivers mutually they must be capable to fill the permit is, and the permit is not just tick tick tick. Every sort of information they are putting there must be reliable and most importantly auditable. With some objective evidence that the things are done. Let's take an example. If the permit receiver is going to the issue that I need permit for that particular project in a confined space, take an example of grinding activity or welding or any hot work activity. Now, imagine if gas testing results are not attached, and this gas testing is not done by authorized or certified gas tester, will it be, okay if issuer will sign or issue the permit? Of course not, because each project have its own dynamics, and as I mentioned, a lot of variables are there. So we need people who are genuine tickers, not the fake tickers, or not the people who will just tick and fulfill the formality, and this is how the things are moving around. And the guys are in trouble because you have confidence. They are technical people. They know everything. They are technical, but they are not technical in safety management systems, or they're not technical as a safety professional, That's why it's important to make sure the guys to whom we are making as a perform as a permit issuer or receiver must be trained and certified. Same way the authorized gas tester, standby man, CSE supervisor, all need to be certified. Complete the hazard analysis checklist. Attach additional forms to the permit if required. The issuer should not blindly sign the permit. Now, my question is, what additional forms or attachment mostly you have with your permit? Like if the activity is hot work, what additional documents are attached to the permit, or just the permit need to be filled? You should like to share, please.
GSA.
GSA, okay. Job hazard analysis.
Risk assessment.
Risk assessment for that particular activity, okay. What else?
You can find it. There are confined checklist. Isolation certificate.
Perfect. Okay. And gas test results are not required as per the nature of your project, or?
Actually, in permit there are one column they have to fill.
Okay. What is the column? Like what is oxygen level or H2S level or LEL or carbon monoxide or any other toxic gases are there?
VOC sometimes some plants required also VOC. They check VOC also. H2S, CO, LEM, oxygen, and sometimes VOC. And benzene, like in Sadara, required they check the benzene.
Is it third party service or you have your own authorized gas testers?
No. Normally gas test from plant side, like Site and Aramco. During construction means new plant, sometimes we done third party. During only project, shutdown should be from plant side.
Okay, perfect. So whatever you agreed with the client, at least the same criteria must be followed. Brilliant, Marshall. So somehow it's being done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now the system says that they must be, after issuer and receiver, once they have done their part, now the management have to play a vital role to prepare CSE program. And not only the program, they have to prepare some CSE plans accordingly, and identify training and qualification, even though that is also the part of the CSE program. And most importantly, the training must be done like mandate and make sure, the required trainings are well delivered and given to the concerned staff members. Restrict confined space entry only to the trained personnel. Now, if you are claiming somebody is trained, then the system asks the objective evidence. Like if you're going to say, I'm trained, then you need to show my training record to somebody. Like could be internal training record or maybe from third party. If client have like made you bound that you have to get third party training and certification, that's a different story. Otherwise, somebody internally can also give training, and that particular person should be trained the trainer into that topic, or even as a generic, like you are a safety supervisor, take an example. Might be you can achieve some train the trainer certifications for first aid and CPR, for H2S, for emergency response, for maybe some fire fighting or fire watch or fire warden, some sort of generic topics, and you are the one going to provide trainings in. And with your signature internally at your attendance sheet, still you are generating an evidence. And might be you can generate and create one internal certificate format, just as an internal certificate that you are the trainer and providing certification. And if that mechanism is acceptable to your client, still a great success pattern. But as a safety supervisor, along with that job, if you are performing as a trainer, then you have a right to negotiate your package with your management. If you are the one delivering trainings also, So might be this is how we are encouraging people to take care of your projects. But make sure the guys are trained. Designate confined space entry supervisors. That is why for each project we need a designated CSE supervisor. Provide equipment required for safe confined space entry is a management responsibility. So overall, they are responsible to provide all resources actually. Okay. Conduct drills and emergency scenarios. Knowledge is not valuable until you act and validate and check. Like uh, without actions, any knowledge probably have no much value, especially nowadays. If you're telling I'm the firefighter, then you must be familiar how to use fire extinguisher, how to use fire hoses, how to operate some of the sprinklers, something like that. So if you are claiming that you are the first aider, then you must be familiar how to handle some minor injuries, hand injuries, how to give CPR or cardiopulmonary resuscitation, in other words. So what I mean is, whatever you are performing, whatever you are learning and later on you are performing, both ways reciprocal. So generate an evidence that yes, you are not only informed and well aware of this activity, even you have done it several times and that's become your experience. And the projects required experience, gentlemen, which is experience is unbeatable for sure. So those guys, most of the companies, they are looking for knowledgeable and experienced gentlemen because they're sometimes the thing we don't have time to train people over and over. That's why through their HR, they are trying to hire the right person for the right job. No doubt, it's not a small challenge. Still, a lot of issues are there. Now, the major subject of today's training is the responsibilities of CSE supervisor. So, as per your current understanding, what do you think? What would be the responsibilities of a CSE supervisor? What is coming in your mind once we talk about CSE supervisor? Then we'll see what Aramco is saying. Yes,
He have
please.
to know everything related to this hazard, which type of hazard is available in confined space.
Okay.
He have to check the permit. After the permit, he have to check all document. Should be explained to workers
Okay.
what is the hazard, how to perform the job.
Perfect. How to perform a job. Mhm. Yes, Mr. Abdullah, anything coming in your mind? Yeah, Shiv Kumar. Anyone else? What is coming in your mind, please, about CSE
No, sir.
supervisor responsibilities?
Sir, he have all knowledge available because permit to confined space, all things they have include the document. If they have it, then we can do it. Can't do it.
Okay. So that means
And
he must
make
be.
sure the
Yeah, please. Yes, Mr. Abdullah, go ahead.
and making sure the scaffolding, internal scaffolding, is up to date,
Excellent, mashallah.
updated.
Like green tag is there.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so whatever is going on within that confined space, he must take the lead and accept the responsibility that he will be keeping an eye on, like monitoring, like auditing, inspection, in other words. And most importantly, he'll make sure, the complete documentation, the complete PTW system or CSC, confined space entry management safety programs, are fully being followed. He will make sure who will be the standby man, like he will be the one to designate the standby man, and making sure the guys who are going inside, they are well trained, certified. He'll be might be helping in toolbox meetings, might be ensuring whatever resources are designated by the management, he will make sure to get those resources and deliver to the concerned employees also, like providing those resources to the project. So the very much important leadership position, he'll be the kind of coordinator between the management and CSC work crew, So he will be dealing to the top management or the relevant management, including including the client, the representatives also. Along with that, he'll be helping his crew members. So yes, a lot of responsibilities. Most importantly, he can be assigned by the issuer. Like sometimes client says we will designate the CSE supervisor, but most of the clients they don't want to take so much pain. So now they are motivating to the contractor, bring your certified and trained CSE supervisor, your authorized gas tester, your WPR work permit receiver, even the issuer sometimes. I noticed several brands now they have their own issuers like safety managers, project managers, they are the issuers. Like in Saudi Electricity, I have trained a lot of engineers and consultants as a work permit issuer and even some of the foreman and supervisor as a work permit receiver. So they have their own mechanism under five-star safety program or as per IMS, Integrated Management System. Same way SABIC, they also have their well-trained, internally trained work permit receivers certified by SABIC internal programs, and they have their own trainers also. And most importantly, the issuer would also be fully knowledgeable and trained and certified in that context. So, but in Aramco, the scenario is a little bit different. The work permit receiver have to achieve third-party training for 4 days with 80% marks. Then the company will get Aramco exam schedule, and that exam need to be passed by the candidate with 90% or above the 90% marks. Then Aramco will issue the ID as a WPR, like a work permit receiver. And after that, the gentleman can receive permits, as authorized work permit or WPR from the issuer, and issuer mostly from the Aramco side. But in your case, you are the issuer and you are the receiver, right? Like within your company, you have receivers and issuers also, and that's permitted by the client and acceptable to client also, right? Mr. Irfan?
Right.
Okay, perfect. So you are so lucky, by the way, that you have your own issuers and own receivers. But in other brands like Aramco, Sabe, the things are little bit complicated to make your people certified, getting them ready to deliver the project. Same way, the CSE supervisor, he is a decision maker to allow people if conditions are acceptable. If not acceptable, he is fully empowered to stop work and not to allow anyone to go inside even, not to start the job until he is satisfied. So he's a decision maker. Authorized entry accordingly supervisor because it's the entry operations have to be supervised. He's a stopper entry if required. And generally the work permit issuer. And most importantly, he must be familiar how to review the entry plans, even though the management have helped to establish those plans. He's a communicator because he has to communicate the plan with the entrant and standby man in shape of as a trainer or in shape of as a person who is leading toolbox meetings, right? Before starting this project. Now, implementation of permits and plans. This is another major responsibility of CSC supervisor. Mr. Irfan, I need your email ID and WhatsApp number. So I will share this presentation, okay? So anytime in future, you guys can refresh your knowledge, okay? Because in one day, how much you can memorize or remember. So just as a reference guide, I'll give this presentation, okay? I just need your WhatsApp number and email ID, and you can share with your teammates. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. So training of entrant and standby man, that's another responsibility this supervisor have. At least he must ensure that they are trained and the standby man and also certified or trained. Designate what trained standby man generally issue CSE permit, provide manpower and coordinate activities to multiple crews. Like at one project site, if different projects are going on in confined spaces, might be you can utilize one supervisor for different projects. I don't know what your procedure is saying, but this is what in Aramco mostly they allow. Thank you very much. I got your email ID and number. So I'll add it and we'll share. Okay. Now, provide manpower and coordinate. He's a coordinator, he's a manpower provider, he's an auditor, trainer, communicator, reviewer, So a lot of responsibilities. Check isolation, purging and gas test results. If any of your confined space, a lot of energies are linked with that confined space, of course, all those energies need to be locked or isolated. Could be like electrical, mechanical, or any sort of pressure or gases, in other words, all need to be isolated or or maybe some liquid is coming or attached to that confined space which need to be drained, properly cleaned, water wash or steaming, or maybe purging just to bring LEL, lower explosive limit at zero level, 0%, just to ensure that the hot work is going on. So above 0% LEL, hot work is not allowed in a confined space. So through this way, technically, he will be helping and checking isolation, purging, and gas test results. Still a lot of responsibilities. He is the one monitoring confined space activity, ensure logs are completed. Like the standby man must have a CSC log sheet. And such log sheet, that means the gentleman, the batch number, the time in, time out, what job he is going to perform, what time, and then he come out, going back again, re-entry into the CSC log sheet. So standby man will not allow anyone to go inside until the log sheet is filled. Ensures PP is provided and used. He is capable to wear all the PPs, including SCABA, like self-contained breathing apparatus. All other PPs, I'll share the list later on in the presentation. Now, provides communication equipment, provide immediate response, like all the resources, whatever management plan, those resources now is getting from the management and supporting to the crew and the company, the contractors. Emergency rescue. So he must be capable to rescue. So that means he's a capable rescuer also. Now, as a rescue, no harm, the CSE supervisor must have a separate training as a emergency rescue officer or whatever, or emergency rescue, separate certification along with CSE supervision. That should also be, it is a plus actually if you go for this one. Now, stop confined space entry when necessary, so fully empowered and authorized. So I repeat again in a nutshell, just is a kind of can be the insured, CN maker, entry authorizer, supervisor, stopper, issuer, work permit issuer, reviewer of entry plans, communicator, implementer, trainer, and also designated professional to train standby man or designate standby man, and also issuer of CSC permit generally, manpower provider, coordinator with multiple crews, checker, checker of different processes like isolation, purging, and gas test results. He's a monitor as well, insurer to make sure the logs are completed through the standby man, and ensure PP, provider of PPs. He's a communicator providing the communication equipment and also immediate response equipment if needed. Rescue capability is a rescuer as well, stopper. So now we will discuss about standby man, another responsibility. Like we have work permit issuer or receiver, we discuss their responsibilities. Then we discuss about what the this management, and after the management we discuss CSC supervisor. Now we are talking about standby man. What are their responsibilities? So they are responsible to review entry plan and permits. They must be capable and knowledgeable, especially to understand possible hazards. Could be like health hazards or safety hazards or any atmospheric hazards, or common workplace hazards. Those should also be understood by. We will discuss in the fourth module all these things. Maintains entry log, monitors activities, not only inside, even outside the confined space. So guys, my question is, he's responsible, the standby man, to monitor activities inside and outside. Outside is quite understood because he is not authorized to go inside. So, like standing outside, how are he going to monitor inside? What mechanism or what technology he will use? What is coming in your mind?
Entry and exit. Entry and exit log sheet.
Okay.
And to shout if there is something outside or inside.
Excellent.
This
So
is the between man.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Anything else, Mr. Irfan or Kumar or Shiv? Please, can you add more value? How are you gonna monitor inside activity? Yes, please. Yes, guys. So, look, guys, inside activities mean he has to keep communication with communicating with the entrance, that everything is okay, all you guys are all right, everything is fine. So this is one way. Then rope system is there. Then we provide sometime radio, sometime, different mechanism is there. So basically, he is the one to ensure that everything is safe. If any emergency is there, the entrants are fully empowered to come out, and the standby man is fully empowered to inform CSE supervisor, the security guys, calling 911, because there is an emergency. So that's why not only outside, even inside, he has to keep an eye on and to help each other. So that's why he's responsible to maintain two-way communication. He's a notifier, personal in the event of an emergency. As per Aramco standards, I don't know what is written in your procedure, but in some cases, the standby man may also be used as a fire watcher. Now, confined space entry, like standby man, does not leave the entry point. That means a standby man is only a standby man, no other duties for that particular project. Never enters the confined space, and primary responsibility, no other duties. Order entrance to evacuate. So CSE supervisor must keep an eye on that the standby man is fulfilling his or her responsibility. Okay. Orders entrance to evacuate when an unsafe condition develops or unusual behavior, of employees because of having some hazard exposure. Or if there is like you believe standby man has leave the area and no relief is provided, then the entrance, whoever is inside the confined space, they are fully empowered to come out. That which means they will not work without a standby man. And CSE supervisors also have to watch according to the responsibilities that everybody is on board and they are fulfilling and they are doing whatever is expected as per the safety management system. And if you believe for any responsibility, standby man facing any difficulty, no harm to educate him, have a separate one-to-one training session or some counseling, whatever. Because sometimes we have responsibilities, maybe 20 responsibilities, but he can perform only 15. So 5 responsibilities are the red zone areas. Identify and through this way, even you can update the competency metrics of each employee, with the same mechanism. Now, the major part after the leadership positions, now the entrant who went inside or going to inside to perform the activity. So simple criteria, any entrant must be the trained worker who will go inside the confined space to perform assigned work. And if you say, oh, the gentleman is trained, then show the evidence. Maybe an attendance sheet that he is trained internally or maybe externally through third party, but the objective evidence must be there. That is your security part, otherwise still things could be in doubts, because for everything it's important to keep the evidence. And now the international standard says keep the objective evidence as any form, even a WhatsApp picture or any shape is all acceptable. Must be genuine. That is the point. Reviews all permit. The entrant must be capable to review all permits, review entry plan, and most importantly, check work and site preparation that nothing is missed. All things are safe and no possible potential hazards are there, which he must be capable to understand also in the confined space. He must be trained on use of PPs. Sometimes we provide PPs, but we don't notice that either our gentlemen, our workforce is fully trained how to use those PPs, or even some of the employees I noted, you provide them a hard hat and they don't know how to adjust internal harness, like a simple product, like the simple PP I'm talking about, the helmet, and they don't know how to adjust or how to put a strip even to make sure while they're working at height. So you can sometime inspect or have a surprise audit just to see how your employees are using the PPs. Several employees intentionally, I noted, if earplugs instead of inside cannula, they are wearing outside, just to show to the safety leadership or the management that, see, we are using PPs. So sometimes such behavior also we need to highlight and encourage those employees that PPs, such investment is done for their safety, not for the sake of your customers only, to show them that you are following safety regulations. Never enters until safety requirements are in place and clearly understand work assignment. And most importantly, maintaining communication with standby man. That is not only the standby man responsibility, it's a reciprocal responsibility along with the entrant. The entrant have to make sure that he is continuously updating to the standby man. Are you there? We all are safe. Everything is okay. If anything will go wrong, I will inform you. So you keep communication, and this is how we try our level best to work as a team to keep ourselves safe. Alert the standby man and the rentals to exit when order to evacuate is given. Maybe from the client side, maybe the conditions become dangerous, like sandstorm is there, heavy rains are there, or any flooding, God forbid, or might be the confined space sometime itself gone collapse, God forbid. So any warning symptoms are there, immediately they have to inform, or any heavy equipments are coming, or rigging and lifting activity is going on. And the standby man believes that could be dangerous because the confined space area is coming into the line of fire, of that rigging and lifting activity. So in such a scenario, again, he is empowered to come out, or the standby man should be capable to inform them on spot, because of that rigging and lifting activity, which is happening within that area where the confined space crew is working. Emergency alarm is activated. So guys, that was all about. We discussed about responsibilities of work permit issuer and receivers, the responsibilities of the management. Then we discussed the responsibilities of CSE supervisor, and after that standby man and the entrant. And sometime according to the project nature, yes, we need other people like authorized gas tester, whether their responsibilities, like conducting gas tests before issuing the work permit, before first entry, after the breaks, whenever the condition change, or might be sometime we rely on regular continual gas testing. Same way the fire worker must be capable to use a fire extinguisher, fire blanket, and is the gentleman, if any hot work is going on, we need a fire watcher on spot, and he must be capable to ensure housekeeping, not letting anyone to put chemicals or any flammable things nearby the area where the project is going on. So according to the project nature, we will get some other crew members also. Now the third part is, all since we have plans like CSE program plans and responsibilities mean the team is there. Now the real CSE planning and preparation is going to be started. So here the question arises, why plan? Why do we need plan actually? Yes, guys, your input, please. Why do we need the plans? Yes, please. Why plan?
For safety.
For safety. Okay. Uh-huh. For safety, you need plan.
So,
Yes, Mr. Abdullah.
so you know where you enter and where you exit, and
Excellent.
Yeah, where is the stand-by man shifting from one manhole to another manhole, like that.
Mhm. So plan means you will have a solid direction, right? Safe direction. That what you're gonna do, when, how, where, and why plan in case of CSC planning. The major reason is, like you mentioned, to assess possible hazards and control measures. And who plans? The planner should be more knowledgeable and productive, to be very honest. Otherwise, we will plan and replan, and sometimes plan is poor, sometimes ineffective, sometimes incomplete. That is why sometimes we have a lot of plans, but execution is rusted, you know, catastrophic sometimes. That is why the planner should be like proponent department, the top management, along with the contractor management, and the planning should be like the review of scope of work, what exactly the contractor and the client have agreed. That scope of work need to be clearly defined, you know. Now, perform a hazard evaluation of space and surrounding area should be part of the planning. You need to specific space if, according to the design or according to the specific confined space, the plan should be fit in actually, prepared in advance. And what if scenarios? What if, like in case of emergency, in case of fire, in case of any sort of sudden collapse or maybe sudden external hazards like sandstorm or flooding or something like that. So, what is our plan? What are we going to do? In case of any gentleman become unconscious, then what are we going to do? So, what if scenarios? And through this, we try to implement things on board. So, guys, again, we have 10 minutes break. So, please join in right after 10 minutes because breaks are important to keep you active in chat. Okay? Join with the same.
Okay, boss.